Are you struggling to get above a band 8 in the discussion essay? Don't worry, because in this video I'm going to teach you how to get a band 9 essay step by step, and make sure to watch this video till the very end because I'm going to evaluate this essay according to a band 9 criteria. So let's have a look at the question. Some people believe that a gap year between high school and university is a good idea, while others argue that it can be harmful for a student's performance. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Here you have to write at least 250 words, and you have to write at least these words. Don't go below it, otherwise you lose a band score. But before we start writing, we need to know about the essay structure, which consists of an introduction, body paragraph number 1, body paragraph number 2, and a conclusion. Now the introduction shouldn't consist of any background sentence. Like there is a very common background sentence given. The question of whether gap year can be beneficial or not for academics has been a part of recent discussion. Now this intro is almost given by every student. Like it's a background sentence, but if you look at the band 9 criteria, you will see that it's kind of irrelevant, and irrelevant is marked as a lower score in the band 5 or 4 criteria. Plus it sounds memorized, and the examiner has checked a lot of essays, so he will know that you have just memorized this sentence and are just pasting it from your memory. Therefore avoid this kind of sentence and save up your time. Simply start with paraphrasing the question and then giving your opinion. Talking about mentioning your opinion, don't write this memorized sentence. This essay will discuss both views in detail and give my opinion, because it will be considered irrelevant and memorized, hence reducing your score. Just simply state your opinion, like if you agree with the first point or the second point, because in order to get above a band 7 or more, you need to have a well-developed response throughout the essay. So simply mentioning your opinion in the conclusion won't be enough. Now turning to the body paragraphs, your first body paragraph should consist of the opinion with which you don't agree, because this way it will be easier for the examiner to understand, as in the second body paragraph the opinion with which you agree will be mentioned. For example, here you agree that gap years are beneficial, so you should mention this view in the second body paragraph, because it's all about coherence and cohesion. The easier you make it for the examiner to understand, the higher band score you will get for the coherence and cohesion section. Also, your body paragraph should consist of first a topic sentence, a supporting detail, and then an example. But the body paragraph number 2 should contain an additional thing, that is again your opinion. As to get above a band 7, you need a clear opinion throughout the essay, so we'll also be mentioning it in the body paragraphs. Finally comes the conclusion. Your conclusion should contain both views. First the opposite view should be described, then your own view should be described. Now that we've understood the essay structure, let's write the introduction. As I mentioned that you shouldn't be writing a background sentence, so we'll simply start with paraphrasing this question statement. Here in the question it is mentioned, some people believe. Now I'll paraphrase it like, there is a belief held by some individuals in the question that a gap year between school and university is a good idea. Instead of this, I've written that taking a year off between completing high school and starting university can be beneficial. Again in the question statement, while others argue that it can be harmful for a student's performance. Here I have mentioned, while others argue that gap years might have a detrimental impact on the student's academic performance. So here we will effectively paraphrase the question statement. Now we'll give our opinion by writing, in my opinion, having a gap year off can be rewarding, provided that students learn useful skills during that gap year. Now it doesn't matter whether you agree with the first view or the second view. Time for the body paragraphs. Previously I mentioned that the view with which you want agreeing will be mentioned in the first body paragraph. So here we will be writing the topic sentence. Gap years usually take away a student's focus from studying. Now note the word usually here. Why did I use it? Because the band 7 criteria says that you shouldn't overgeneralize the statement. Like if you're overgeneralizing it, you won't be getting above a band 7. And if you simply write gap years take away a student's focus from studying without writing usually, then you say that there is no exception. Gap year will definitely take a student's focus away from studying. But when you add the word usually or generally, it shows some exception. Like generally and usually means most of. So here you should either use these words usually, generally, or some modal verbs like may or might. Next comes the supporting detail. In other words, they might spend excessive time socializing with acquaintances or getting involved in distractions like traveling, hence reducing their ability to concentrate on studies. Now note the word here, in other words. I've used this phrase to show that the supporting detail relates the previous sentence. Finally, time for the example. For instance, most students that took a gap year off between high school and university struggled to focus on academics and got bad grades. So this summarizes the view with which you want to be agreeing in the first body paragraph. Time for the second body paragraph, and the view with which you agree should be written in this body paragraph. Starting with the topic sentence, however, the skills learned during that gap year may aid students in their career. Now note the word however. It means showing contrast, and here you are showing contrast with the previous view. Next, the supporting detail. More precisely, if a student learns a practical skill related to his field during the gap year, he will be ahead of other students in terms of work experience as well as interpersonal skills. The example, an IT student, for example, who spent a year learning about programming could outperform his colleagues and score better in academics and practicals. Here, a little bit different thing will be used from the previous body paragraph. You will be mentioning your opinion again. So I'll be writing, therefore, this argument carries more weightage than the former view. Now this is a little bit different way of writing an opinion. Instead of saying your opinion or I believe, you simply said that this argument holds more weightage than the previous one. So it has exactly the same meaning, but you like paraphrased it. So it will also give you a high band score in vocabulary section. Lastly comes the conclusion. You will be discussing both opinions, but first the opposite opinion will be coming, then your own opinion. So I'll be writing, to recapitulate, even though some people opine that gap years can negatively impact a student's academic performance because students may participate in idle activities, here I have discussed the opposite view. Now time for my opinion. I believe that taking a gap year off seems to be a useful activity, as the improved skills can prove invaluable for a student's career in the future. Good. We've written a great essay, a band 9 essay. And also make sure to give attention to the word count. Here the word count is 256 words. Usually I would advise you to write it between 250 and 280 words, because time is also a thing that you should be caring about. 40 minutes isn't usually enough for the task 2 essay, as you will be consuming some time for planning and rechecking. Now is the time to evaluate my essay according to a band 9 criteria. So first we'll have a look at the task response. Here it says the prompt is appropriately addressed and explored in depth. Indeed it is. You have mentioned every single detail with a supporting sentence and an example. clear and fully developed position is presented which directly answers the question. Yes, in the introduction, we explained our opinion, also in the body paragraph and the conclusion. Ideas are relevant, fully extended and well supported. Indeed they are. We've given examples too. Any lapses in content or support are extremely rare. There aren't any lapses, it's quite easy to read. Now coming to the cohesion and coherence section. The message can be followed effortlessly. Indeed it can be. It's quite easy to read, and just like a river flows from the top to bottom effortlessly, the message can also be read with ease. Cohesion is used in such a way that it very rarely attracts attention. Now this point is worth considering. It simply means that you shouldn't be using too many linking words in a single paragraph. Like if you use 7, 8 or 10 linking words, it will inevitably attract attention and your coherence and cohesion score will reduce from a band 9 to a band 8. Like look at this essay. In the introduction, I've used the linking word that, while and provided that. Only 3 linking words that won't be attracting the examiner. So here is also a band 9 coherence and cohesion. Paragraphing is skillfully managed. Indeed, there is a separate paragraph for the introduction, 2 body paragraphs and a conclusion. Turning to the lexical resource section, full flexibility and precise use are widely evident. Now, full flexibility simply means that you paraphrased as much as possible. You haven't repeated the same words again and again. Like here, instead of repeating gap here, you can say taking and here off. Precise use means that you use the paraphrase words correctly. A wide range of vocabulary is used accurately and appropriately with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. Simply means that you should be using some uncommon words. Your words shouldn't be too simple. And if you look at my essay, you will find that there are uncommon words used. Minor errors in spelling and word formation are extremely rare and have minimal impact on communication. Here there are no spelling errors and communication is quite smooth. Finally, the grammatical range and accuracy section. A wide range of structures is used with full flexibility and control. It means that you used a variety of sentences like simple, compound and complex sentences. Look at the introduction. The first sentence is a compound and the second sentence is a complex one. You turn to the body paragraph, the first sentence is a simple one, and so on. In short, I've used a variety of sentences without any mistakes. Punctuation and grammar are used appropriately throughout. Now, here you should keep it in mind that punctuation should be used correctly. Don't make grammatical mistakes like is, am, are, and has, have. Here in the essay, no such mistakes are made. Minor errors are extremely rare and have minimal impact on communication. No such thing is found in the essay. Wonderful! You've just learned how to write a band 9 essay step by step. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with those who need it, subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified of every video that I upload on this channel. Take care. Allah Hafiz.